Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back for Madoka Magica Season 1, Episode 11. So, last episode was crazy. We got to know how Akemi became who she is today, from a very, timid girl to obtaining this power and reliving these lines over and over again to being the kind of cold and calculating person we know, but I'm sure there's still that loving and caring side of her inside there, and this is just, she's had to steel herself to be able to do what she's been doing. So, very, very crazy with these different lines and the different ways things have turned out. Like, the craziest was definitely where Sayaka turned, Mommy freaked out, realizing that magical girls turn into witches, and was like, any of us can turn into witches and hurt someone, so I need to stop you before you hurt someone, and killed Kyoko, and then went to kill, damn, she went to kill someone else, right? And then maybe she went to kill Akemi or something? I'm not sure. Or, oh no, maybe she went to kill Mommy in that, because I think Mommy was still alive in that one. So she killed Kyoko, went to go kill Mommy, and then Madoka stopped her by killing her. So, like, crazy. Or wait, no, I'm an idiot. No, it was Mommy that was freaking out. Wow, I'm stupid. Holy shit. I'm just gonna stop talking. It was incredible, however it went down, like, so sad and traumatic and everything, but also just incredible writing. And let's just jump into the episode before I embarrass myself more. I'm sorry, guys. I'm stupid. My brain doesn't work sometimes. We're gonna start here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Hmm. Mm-hmm. The Karmic Destiny. So is it because she repeated this so many times? Damn. Interesting. Hmm. Damn. So impossibly huge. Jesus. Well, damn. Not what Akemi wanted. uh. Yeah, I'm actually not sure. I'm trying to remember that scene from last episode that I messed up on during my intro. And I guess Mommy was about to kill Akemi, right? Because I know she killed Kyoko, and then I know she stepped in, Madoka stepped in to kill Mommy right before she killed someone else, right? And the only other person that would have been there would have been Akemi, right? because Sayaka had already turned into a witch. That's what started the whole drama, and Kyoko was already dead. That only leaves Mami, Akemi, and Madoka. So. Oh, they were all there at the end. What? That's not always the case, right? Usually it's only the three of them, I thought. Oh. Damn. Just moved right on. It's kind of sad how we do that as people. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Damn. Dramatic zoom in. Jesus, we're going into that. Hmm. Yeah, but some of them are treated very poorly. Damn. Oh shit. What are we about to see? Dinosaurs. Is that what we saw in the beginning? Shit. What the heck? That's insane. Hmm. Uh. Goddamn. Poor Madoka, man. It's so hard to understand something that doesn't have emotions. Yeah. A rare. So some of them are capable of having emotions. Hmm. Interesting. Wonder how true that is. Oh, this is their teacher, huh? Yeah. Hmm. Damn. Hmm. I feel bad for the mom. She cares so much. Yeah, she just wants to help her. I've only heard Junko name in one other place and it hasn't been good. I need to play Danganronpa again. Hmm. Wow. Hmm. Shit. They won't even be able to see it. Hmm. She's doing whatever she can now that we know to stop her from becoming a magical girl. She's willing. I mean, she might just go back in time again anyway, but she's willing to sacrifice everyone so that way Madoka won't become a magical girl. To be fair, she also becomes the worst witch, which probably destroys everyone, right? I think they said. Oh, breaking a little bit of that facade there. Hmm. Madoka just shocked by Kemi acting like this. She's telling her. Oh. Damn, man. Oh, this poor girl. Both these poor girls, man. Uh-oh. Walper gets close. Is that what this storm is? Yep. They're just gonna think it's a weather phenomenon. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Man, what is gonna happen? Aww. The saddest thing is if Madoka tries to help anyway, she's doing the one thing that she's trying to prevent. Oh, Jesus. What the heck? Oh, alright. Here we are. Not good. Here she is, just alone. Oh my god. Just a whole bunch of RPGs. Oh, she's like stopping time on them to make them all release at once. Damn, that's cool. I wonder who this witch was. She has like mortars set up. Because this probably would have been a very powerful witch, right? I mean, a very powerful magical girl that then turned into a witch. Is Akemi capable of going back further? Could Akemi go back far enough to stop the Walpurgis witch from becoming a witch? You know, the magical girl that originated. This is crazy, though. Or is she... Akemi might just be limited to the, like, 1 month she's been repeating. Yeah, I had a feeling it was... I mean... Makes sense it's not going to be over like that. God, that's so scary. Everyone just thinks it's just weather. Poor freaking Madoka. No, Madoka! Yeah, I mean, clearly they're gonna say no. Hmm. That's so sad to think about. Shit. That's so sad. I feel so bad for these kids, man. I just want them to have a happy ending, but I don't even see how it's possible. Yeah, she knows something out. Damn. Yeah, the mom just doesn't know what's going on. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. I mean, the family would worry. They had no problem bringing all these younger girls around, but I wonder if she'd be allowed to. Like, would Cube like stop that or no? Well, Jesus. Just pushes her down the stairs, breaks her neck. Akemi just changes timelines again. Jeez. Oh, she took some damage there. Oh no. Come on. Freaking Madoka's gonna have to do it, isn't she? Oh, she's about to go back in time, isn't she? Damn, she has that on her mind now, too. Yeah, she's starting to have that down. Yep. I was about to say, starting to have that downfall. No, come on. Madoka's gonna show up, right? Yo. Damn. There's that music kicking in. I wonder what her wish is gonna be. Oh. Oh, I didn't even realize how much time had passed. Oh, I guess that's what next episode. And then next episode's the last one for season 1, and then we have one movie to watch, I believe. So yeah, you guys left me a bunch of comments in the video. I just released an episode today, and now I'm recording this one tonight. There's a vast difference because my Patreon has early access and everything, so I'm recorded ahead of what's being released to YouTube. But you guys on YouTube are letting me know that movie 1 and 2 are recaps, and movie 3 is a direct sequel. So we'll be watching movie 3 after the next episode, of course. But man, this whole episode was me, like, I even feel like I didn't even, like, react all that much just because I was just watching, taking in, just feeling bad for these characters, you know? It's like, I don't even have any advice. I don't even know what to do. I don't even know what's right, you know? It's like, Akemi's trying to handle everything alone, and I get it. She's trying to live up to the favor that Madoka had from her in another timeline, you know? And, like, we have Madoka who wants to help, but Akemi's telling her not to. She chooses to anyway. That is it, guys, for episode 11. Yeah. So I spent so much I just want them to be happy in the end. I just want some kind of happiness for these poor girls. But I mean, if Madoka is gonna have to take the power, that means eventually unless somehow she changes fate completely, right? Like they talked about how powerful she's gonna be, unless she can. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see where the story goes. But like, if it continues with this cycle, then it's great that Madoka becomes a magical girl to be able to stop the Walpurgis and save as many lives in the city as she possibly can. But then eventually she becomes a witch of unimaginable power that then just destroys all of humanity, right? So it's like, I don't know. I mean, obviously, the problem is there anyone to stop the Walpurgis? Like, if Madoka doesn't do this, is humanity just destroyed anyway, or are there other powerful magical girls out there that are already magical girls that could handle it? I don't know. But then that's the thing, is like, you need you need a stronger magical girl to take out these witches, but then those stronger magical girls become stronger witches, that then you need a stronger magical girl to take out those stronger witches. And it's just like, I imagine as time passes, the witches become more powerful, thus the need for stronger magical girls becomes greater. So it's definitely not a good cycle we're in, but either way, there was a lot more information this episode. We learned that Madoka has so much potential because of Akemi going back in time, looping over and over and over again. They called it a karmic burden, which is a interesting term to use for it, which is like, each time Akemi made these loops, she's putting more and more of this burden onto Madoka, and that's what almost made Akemi lose herself there. Is she's like, she was about to go back in time, and then she realized she's just gonna make that burden worse, and it's, she's in her own little catch-22 of like, now it's either she makes the burden worse, but maybe saves her eventually, or she just doesn't go back in time and becomes a witch and just gives up. So it's also a really sad fate that Kyubey was talking about, where, unless Madoka finds a way to do something, the only fate for Akemi is either to continue the loop over and over again, or give up, and giving up for her means the grief of that turns her into a witch. It's just really sad, man. Goddamn. We had the livestock comparison, which is, whenever there's like some kind of entity, it can sometimes be another human, or it can be a higher power in some way that is talking down on humanity. A lot of the times they make that livestock comparison of like, oh, do you, like, you guys are like ants to me. Do you guys care when you step on an anthill, and stuff like that? We've had that. In this case, they use the livestock debate, and I mean, Kyubey did have a point where we do give these creatures that we raise to eat a, for the most part, a good life, except for factory farming. Excuse me. Factory farming can be atrocious, and can be terrible, and they're not treated well and stuff like that. But the ones that are treated well, you could argue that it is good. But the thing is like, we domesticated cows and stuff like that. Like, they were bred in certain ways. I don't know the full details on it, but I've heard people talk about this before, where we basically made cows more docile and made cows be the way they are, to the point where we could farm them in the way that we do, which is basically just manipulating them to be what we want them to be. Just because Kyubey was saying we like saved them from natural selection and stuff, like maybe they would have just adapted to natural selection and could have still been free and stuff if we never did that. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still a big meat eater, and I always will be, but, I don't know that that's a fair argument to compare livestock to a human life. But it was also really interesting to hear about the emotions within Kyubey's race. They pretty much don't have emotions, but some do. And the ones that do, it's considered like a mental disorder. That's really interesting. Can you imagine being like the one entity within your race that like has emotions, or one of the few, I should say? That would be such a weird feeling, to just have like to have like this conscience, and this, like, the way you view the world would be so much different than everyone around you. You would feel so isolated and so different. I don't even know what you would do with the feelings that you have, Like, you see your people doing all these atrocious things and all that, and you try to explain to them that they're atrocious, and they're just like, what do you mean? I don't get it, So it's pretty wild to think about. But also the fact that they've been here manipulating the human race since before our recorded history. We saw like dinosaurs and stuff like that at the start of the information that was transmitted to Madoka, and so so the question is like, I don't know enough about our history. I don't know if there were people during that era with dinosaurs and stuff. I don't think there were, but maybe I'm wrong. It's just really funny to think about, like, if they were here before people were here, did they just have like magical girl dinosaurs? I don't know if that would work. I don't think it would. That would be a weird spin-off show, that side story is just magical girl dinosaurs. That'd be some shit. But no, I imagine it was like from the time of us being in caves and stuff like that. And the thing Kyubey was saying is like, we'd probably still be in caves if it wasn't for them coming and granting the power, because they use the magic to progress society and stuff like that. I wonder how true that is. I mean, in our world, right, we don't have magical girls, and we've progressed to this point without it. But maybe this world that we're in for, the Madoka magical world, maybe it wouldn't have happened, and that's really interesting to think about. But it also could have just been another excuse from Kyubey being like, oh, you should be thankful for us. You've progressed to this point because of that. And it's like, bitch, no, we would have done it anyway. So I guess that's a way to look at it too. Just really, really fascinating, like, concepts in this show, and on such a grand scale. Like, I love it because sure, it's brief and not as detailed as maybe I'd like in like a longer story format, right? But I there's a lot of shows where we don't get this level of like history, and that's what I love. I love the history of shows and stuff like that. I always want to know more about how these worlds have ended up the way they have been whenever I'm watching anime. But a lot of the times we're more focused on the immediate story, and it's like lost history or something, and it's things we just never figure out. But in this case, we're being told it, and that's just really cool. It's really cool just to even just get a little slice of it. So I definitely love that. But yeah, we have Madoka, which I imagine she's going to be making her wish unless something interrupts it again. You know, we've gone 11 episodes of Madoka almost making a wish in, you know, not every episode, but there's been a lot of episodes of Madoka almost making her wish and becoming a magical girl, and something interrupts it. So we'll see. I mean, it'd be kind of weird if a random magical girl showed up to help at this point and be like, no, I'll handle it, you know, and like interrupts Madoka from doing it. So we'll see. Does she become a magical girl and stop the Walpurgis? And then, if so, what happens after that, you know? And what does Akemi think of it? And does she just stick around with Madoka, you know, and just see where this all ends up? And how does Akemi's story end? Because it's really interesting. Unfortunately, if Madoka becomes a magical girl, we pretty much know her end. But what does that mean for Akemi? Does she wait until Madoka turns and then just dies? Or does she, you know, go back in time to try to change things again? I don't know. I imagine if she does push to that point of Madoka turning, I feel like that might be the end for her. You know, I feel like she's done looping. So it's just a really fascinating story, and I can't wait to see how they decide to wrap it up for the season 1, and then getting into the movie and all that good stuff. So thank you guys so much. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Check out my Patreon if you want to see more. Also, don't forget to always hit me up with recommendations for shows. If you have any shows you want me to watch, I'm always looking for more shows to add. Basically, some shows I replace with things that I need to either catch up on. Other shows I do polls, like very shortly. You guys will see a poll coming up to replace Oshi no Ko. But as for this show, I already have something planned to replace this one with. It's either gonna be, there's 2 airing shows coming up. One is Shield Hero season 3 or 4. I can't even remember what one we're on now. I think it might be 4. I think we've seen 3 seasons now on my channel, so I think it might be season 4. I think that's probably replacing what's my airing show I'm watching right now? Fire Force. That's probably replacing Fire Force because Fire Force is ending, or at least part 1 is ending. And then Dr. Stone is coming back, which Dr. Stone is one that I watched the first half of the most recent season, and now the second half is coming out, and I wanted to watch it. So I think Dr. Stone is going to be replacing this show. But a lot of the times, if I have nothing that is immediate that I need to get to watching, usually this show slot is replaced by a poll. So keep an eye out for all that, and like I said, give me recommendations, because I take those recommendations, I put them on my anime list as planned to watch, and then when I form my polls, I go to my plan to watch list, and I form a list of all the shows, or not all of them, but like 10 shows that are on there, and stuff like that. So if there's stuff you guys want me to see, also you can check out my anime list, that's in the description as well, where you can see what I've already seen, so that way you're not recommending things that I've already watched. So check all that out. Links in the description below should be popping up on the screen for my Patreon and subscribing. Very much appreciate the support, guys, and I'll see you in my future reactions. Bye-bye.